Alright, we're talking about TNA Impact Wrestling for January 19th, 2017. Feels nice to say 2017 and have 2016 behind us. But with
Yes.
that, as I go to a kind of cold, methodical opening to this week's TNA and talking about it, we have to understand that we're in a different era of TNA now. We need to find out where we're going, how we're going to build and get there. And it's quite obvious we're in that rebuilding-ish stage of everything we've done in the past. We probably are throwing away, sadly. But I would definitely say this week was better than last week. I'll give it that. Last week was not that great. This week, though, had a little bit of too many video packages because we saw 4 wrestling matches and about 3 or 4 segments. But let's just jump in here. Started off with the big one, which was the race for the case. The concept that throws away Feast or Fired because no one's getting fired. And it's... Well, for instance, if you're number 1, you can go against the world title guy, and no one else can face the world title
And
guy.
you can pick the stipulation, and no one else can pick that stipulation.
Yes. So, yeah, it has its perks, really. Who knows how long they might have these cases? I don't know. The cases are kind of gimmicky because they're colored, and like, as you see by this picture, the guy wearing the green got the green one. We had Mike Bennett, I believe, got the red one. Let me pull up my.
It was not
pictures
Mike
real quick.
Bennett. You said that twice.
Dang it! Why I keep on saying Mike Bennett? Eli Drake. I don't know why. I keep on thinking of Mike Bennett because he kind of
It's
got.
because Mike Bennett
He got
should have
snubbed.
won the match.
He got snubbed. Trevor Lee got the blue one, which makes sense, and DCC got a gold one. I guess it makes sense. Whatever. But
You see?
yeah, we had. It was. Let's see. We had Jeff and Matt. Then we had Kingston and Bram. Don't know why James Storm wasn't there. Mike Bennett, who was actually in this match. Eli Drake, Tyrus, Jesse Goddard, and I feel like I'm missing someone.
What's his name in it?
Who?
Andrew Everett.
No, he wasn't in it. So that might be
Oh,
it.
Crazy Steve.
Yeah,
The
Crazy
K.
Steve.
Yeah, Crazy Steve was in. I was gonna say there was
So,
one more person.
Yeah, no Abyss. I don't know. It seemed like we used a lot of the roster up just for this match, and then we had to have like a tough enough person for the next one. But yeah, so this match was okay. It took up 30 minutes of the show, and then after it, we went to a Fact of Life, which was freaking phenomenal. It was great. It was great. The Fact of Life scene was great. Uncle John over there managed to call all of the numbers correctly with Eli Drake.
From the first one to the last one.
Yeah, Eli Drake going first at number 4. Then we
Dummy,
had
dummy. Yeah.
Death Count Council with
Got number
number 2. Trevor Lee in one of the greatest segments of his entire career with Tyrus, trying to figure out how to open up the case. Is that Mahogany?
Yeah, Trevor Lee might have a new he seemed like a pothead. He might have a new gimmick.
Tyrus wanted to trade the red case for the blue case, and Trevor Lee was like, how about you trade your headphones? And Tyrus is like, it's clear we're not making a deal here today. Just open your case. So Trevor Lee got 2, and then Brother Nero got number 1. So
Actually, Trevor got 3.
yeah, sorry. Trevor got 3,
really,
DC got 2. So
what's really funny about that is when Eli grabbed a hold of his briefcase, I said something about, I just watched he make it number 4.
John got it. John got it right on the button. Would you like to make a bold prediction of who's gonna go for what?
Yeah, come on, John.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not really good with all that stuff, so what I got was what I got. I can't go any further than that.
Total non-stop predicting.
I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm gonna say Jeff is gonna go for the world title because that makes sense. I know what happens with DCC because of little friends who will go to the tapings, so I'm not gonna say it because I'll be right there. Trevor Lee, I'm gonna say
X Division title match.
Oh, I could see him go for the Grand though.
I think Eli Drake will get the grand.
Oh
But
yeah, because they're not gonna have Eli go for the X division.
yeah, so I feel like Trevor Lee kind of gets the. Trevor
He
Lee
gets
kind of
roped
gets
into what he has to get.
the X division. Yeah, so there's that for all those predictions. After that little segment, which was great, we had Eddie Edwards and Lashley bicker and all that bicker and banter, and in the end, they're gonna face each other next week at Genesis for 30 minutes in the main event for the title. So, yep. After that, we saw Brooke returned, and she got to beat up a girl
Squad.
from Tough Enough.
Yana Perazo.
Yep, who may or may not have been the Luchadora if you watch SmackDown. So there's that.
He may or may not have been the person who was under the mask before Mickey officially came in.
Yep. We had a bunch of Allie and Braxton Sutter segments. They were okay. They're kind of building towards the whole fact that I can't date you, but I love you. Because if I date you, you're fired. And Allie's like, why? And it's very obvious. And then Maria's trying to hook with Laurel Van Ness up with Sutter to get them as like a marriage. So yeah, that happened.
That's something I want to complain about.
I'm not big on that. I'm not big on. I mean, in the end, it'll probably make sense and we'll feel good about it. But for the people who know that Pepper Parks is dating Cherry Bomb, Allie and Braxton Sutter.
Married. They've been married for 3 years.
Yeah, so the fact that they're a real life couple is kind of like, kind of cringy. It's like with the James Ellsworth and Carmella thing. The man has 2 kids, a wife, it's wrestling storylines, everybody. Wrestling storylines. But, there was that. Then we had a comedy match, which was Swoggle and Robbie E taking on Aaron Rex, who had to explain was gay to Uncle John over there. He was like, what's wrong with that man? I'm like, John, he's gay. He's portraying a gay gimmick. He's just, but and then Rockstar Spud. So, they got the win because rings are weapons and rings knock people out. Highlight of the night, wrestling wise, had to be Swoggle hitting Spud with a GTS. Yes, CM Punk, Phil Brooks move. They go to sleep was done. 10 out of 10.
By a midget.
Yes, a dwarf, a small person, midget, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that was great. Those
angry little people.
Every time I see Swoggle pick up Spud, it's funny because you got to remember Spud is small. He's smaller than Austin Aries is about my height, which is 5'8". Spud's 5'4". Spud's small. So that was a great comedy match to make us feel good about ourselves. We got a stink face by Swoggle. So Aaron Rex on the microphone is very cringy, but it's the gimmick. So then our main event, because I think that's really it. Yeah, that was really it. And then the main event was Drew Galloway taking on Moose, and the ending of the match was because Galloway kicked Moose in the crotch
in the wing
with a back kick, and then the referee was deduct a point. He went to each of the judges and was deduct a point, and then Galloway just won anyways. So Galloway's champ.
Yeah, what
he's
kind of
Impact
concept?
champ.
I don't even get this concept.
The Impact Grand champ. So yeah, that was the main event, and that's basically it. What does this mean for us going forward? Moose and Galloway are gonna feud basically, probably for a little bit.
If I may say something about that ending of that match,
yeah,
I really didn't understand why the referee went to both judges, told them to deduct a point, and then Drew just went for the pin and won the title. It didn't make sense.
Nope, it didn't. But
welcome to TNA, John.
But you get what you get sometimes.
TNA needs to get their shit together.
Well, they got it together, and then the transfer of power is what's, they're trying to find themselves in their defense, because they had a very clear vision of like they're doing stuff really good, and now it's like we need to rebuild of what our site of TNA wants to be. You know what I mean? So, and it's not TNA anymore. That's the other thing. It's Impact Wrestling. It is Anthem's Impact Wrestling. It's not. We're losing the TNA name. That's the big thing. So, Impact tonight. It's gonna feel weird saying that. Probably just gonna say TNA from now on, anyways. Though, TNA Impact Wrestling Anthem's Impact. Schitt's Creek Impact. That's not a cuss word. That's actually the name of the thing. Yeah.
The only other show that's on
Pop. Yeah.
They
besides
had
Davies Creek.
They had abused that advertisement name too many times.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 tonight, or maybe a 7. 6.75. It was decent. It wasn't crazy good. It just feels like there's something missing. But at least we have those briefcases, those beautiful, colorful briefcases to build stuff out of, hopefully. Sutter and Alley, I feel like, is going to have a big conclusion, hopefully. And Moose and Galloway, we're going to get that for a while. Eddie Edwards and Lashley was the best thing of last year, and we're still doing it this year. So, maybe change it up a little bit, please. But other than that, no X Division. No tag teams, really. So, no real push for the tag teams besides Death Count Council winning the briefcase. And no big push for X Division at all. I think the X Division's kind of just surprisingly quietly died in TNA right now. So, with that, I will take it over to Uncle John. You can say whatever you want. I've talked long enough.
What can I say? It was a show. I guessed a few parts. I was right. I'm gonna give it a 6. That's about it.
All right, Colt Walker.
What's up? I hate to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that guy.
I give
Be
it
the
a
guy.
2.
Say a 2?
Yes.
A 2.
I only enjoyed one match.
What was the match?
The Drew Galloway and Moose match.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I'm not much of a TNA fan, and I say
Impact Wrestling.
Oh, sorry, Impact Wrestling.
Anthem. Cousin Ed Nordholm.
Impact Wrestling Anthem.
Cousin Ed Nordholm presents.
I'm not much of a fan for that show, but I gave it a 6.
Cousin Ed is not really feeling your guys' comments right now.
I'm a fan of TNA.
He's gonna send some pee in your brown bags.
The fact that they neglect the X division and the tag team division.
He's gonna send you Grado's underwear in a brown bag.
It's the X division is what put TNA on the map. If you don't remember,
yeah,
it was different. It was something edgy. It was out there.
Edgy.
Now they're pushing it away like yesterday's garbage. Get your shit together, TNA.
The thing is, they had 2 hours of the show, and they spent 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, directly on the race for the case concept. I mean, it's been pushed for a while now, and it's been heavily pushed, but to spend 40 whole minutes on it to the point where so many people, so many people involved, I feel like there was a little bit too many people involved. I feel like Race for the Case would have been better if it was a series of like one-on-one matches, you know what I mean? Or maybe 3-way matches, 4-way matches, so like one out of those 4 guys or one out of the 2 guys get the case. But which is my opinion on it. I think that could have worked out better than just throwing a bunch of guys out there and then seeing who we still got left to book. But or who even shows up, like James Storm. Where the heck was he? Where was Abyss? Where, like, Sienna came back. Thumbs up for Sienna. You go, girl. You
lost some weight.
Lost some weight. You're looking good. Gail Kim wasn't there. Jade wasn't there. Rosemary wasn't there. Like a whole lot of people weren't there. Just weren't. But Mullins, you get the final saying. Take us away. Take us home.
Okay, finally Chris's turn. I'm gonna tell you, I actually enjoyed tonight. The first match was a fun match to watch. I thought like there was a lot of really good spots there. Really funny one where it looked like, because the way they've been pushing Jesse Goddard, it's me and Tex joke that like they're literally going to make him world champ by the end of 2017, and he almost got a case, but as it was coming off, it literally flew out and landed right in Bram's hands on the outside, which is how the DCC got their case. So that was literally like one of the funniest things I had seen. I was like, oh, there it is. There's this push. Oh, nope. See you later. Good match there. Knockouts, obviously very forgetful. It was really just, hey, you know what, Brooke, we're going to have you do this because you're back. We're just going to have you squash somebody just so we don't have to squash somebody that's actually on our roster. Let's see what else we have. The Aaron Rex stuff gets cringier every week. I can't even get behind it. Like it literally, like it's just like now rings are a weapon. Like you said, the only thing that saved that match for me was the GTS.
By Swoggle.
Like,
do you want to touch on Robbie? On
Rob,
or the whole Matt Hardy tights?
Oh yeah, Robbie wearing tights
Pants.
that look like Matt Hardy when he was in the WWE. I don't even understand that either. I liked it better when he just wore like the little trunks. Let's see. Other than that, the main event was pretty good. A nice surprise. We did not think Galloway was going to walk away with the win there. Nice surprise. And as Tex said, I'm saving the best for last. That Facts of Life segment was phenomenal. It was absolutely incredible. Loved every second of it. I love where they're going with Trevor Lee's character. That was one of my favorite parts of that thing. Is he's running some kind of new gimmick. It's hard to explain, but it reminded me a lot of RVD. A very chill.
Well, what was it? They
like,
they have the. I know he's the Carolina Caveman and all that, but what was it? We talked about this very subtly a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. I don't know. Something where like Andrew Everett and Shane Helms, where he was like, "There's no I in something." I can't remember what it is. It wasn't team, but it was something else.
But there was an I in it.
Yeah, I can't remember. And then like they looked at him like, really? So, I don't know. Maybe he has a dumbfounded gimmick or something.
Like,
you know?
well, anyway, I like it.
Comical, yeah. It's nice.
All the interactions involved in that thing were hilarious because the funniest parts were
The DCC
like,
had like the Joker's face paint for some weird reason after they got their briefcase revealed. It was weird. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I love their
And
high
then-
fives. Like,
All of mines.
wait a minute. I just thought of something. There's 3 members of DCC.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What the hell was James Storm? What the heck? What the heck? Why didn't you help out? Or was that even James Storm? Was that just some random guy in a James?
That was probably just some random
in a
guy
DCC
that was
outfit.
like, okay, well, we have to have 3 guys here.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Jeff Hardy laughing when it was revealed that Eli Drake had case 4. Jeff Hardy's in the corner, like literally jumping up and down. You would have thought it was the funniest joke of the year with the way he sold it. And other than that, well, I'm gonna say tonight was honestly gets 7.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a top like we'll probably forget about this episode in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Other than maybe bits and pieces, but it was an episode that it didn't suck.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Adios.